Hey ladies, it's Mary here, and it is week 2 of the 30-day challenge and not week, but month 1 of the year-long program of Who Is She? Who is she? I want to know, who is she? I'm turning 69 on Tuesday. I think it's Tuesday. And I want to know who she is because 70 is coming and I want to know. I hope that you are on the quest for who she is as well. But this month is about inner alignment. It's about awakening into, this is everything layers on one another through this program. It's about awakening into, like, I want to shake myself and be like, okay, like, come on, you've been working hard all your life, and now it's time to take a look at the shifts that are happening in midlife and what to do about it. And honestly, I don't think that it is strictly a female thing. I think that it's just as much a male thing as any. I don't, and let me say this about that. I don't think that it's a crisis. I mean, it's a crisis if you make it that way, but I don't think that moving into midlife needs to be a crisis. It is an unfolding, and I think that we just don't have the tools to figure out what we're unfolding into because we've measured ourselves all our whole life. Has the success that we've measured ourselves with was from external recognition. So, the trophies, the promotions, the paycheck, I'm not going to lie. I liked being in the paper. I liked being interviewed on the news. I liked having the president of the country as a client. Like, I'm not going to lie about this stuff. Like, that was how I measured myself, how that was the value that I gave myself. But now that's gone. So I need to replace that with something, but a lot of times we don't take a look at that, and then we just feel bad about ourselves and have a "oh woe is me" party and think that nobody cares and nobody's coming. So I find that in the women that I spend a lot of time with, or the women that I coach, women want to downsize when their husbands want to keep what they have accumulated because that's his recognition or his idea of success, where women are like, I did all that. I did the caretaking. I did the endless list of responsibilities. I kept everything up. And now women are like, I want something different, but I don't know what that is. So now here's this program, this great possibility of unfolding for us, right? Who is she? Who is she? And this 30-day challenge should get us started, just to try and build some momentum. That's all I'm looking for is, can I do something over and over again that's new to create this new momentum for myself? Like, this awakening is a transition from external achievement to internal alignment. And what does my new version of success mean to me? So let's get started on this week's lesson. So measuring success in midlife and beyond, like, I don't know what's after midlife. I still haven't figured that out. Silver streak, silver lightning, like golden something, I don't know. Anyway, how we take a look at what success is going to look like in midlife as we age, as we go and grow, because we're still growing. I was on it's called edX, EDX, toolbox.org, which is where all the Ivy League schools throw up their courses that you can take. You can go in and sit in on thousands upon thousands of college courses for free. If you choose to get a certificate or a certificate of completion when you're done, then you have to pay for that. But you can go and sit in on the class for free. Literally, you can learn anything that you desire. So, like then, if that's the case, what is it that you've always wanted to study, or you thought, oh, when I was younger, I was gonna do this. Well, maybe now is that time. Maybe now is the time to figure out what success means to you, because it's not so much the degree anymore, or the promotion, or raising our family, or keeping our home, or checking off the endless list of responsibilities that we have. That's not what this stage in our life have to offer. Those things come from external achievements. But now the tides have turned, and we have to take a look at the internal achievements and what that means to us. And a lot of times we don't even know what that internal alignment is like, because we've just been so busy taking care of others or having responsibilities outside of the home, not let alone the home, but even outside of the home. So, I think, I liked being praised for the things that I did, for the accomplishments that I did. I liked being in the paper. I liked being on the news. Like, those things made me feel good. I liked, working with these presidents of countries or diplomats. I liked being around that level of people. That was what gave me, that push to keep going and growing and doing and, just running all the time. But now, what is there now that that's gone? In the quest for who is she, and this can be for any age. It doesn't have to be from 69 to 70. It can be from any age. Like, who is she? What does all of this? What's it all going to mean in the end? And now is the time, no matter where you are on this journey, now is the time to begin to ask that. And so this month is kind of like the awakening, because this is a 12-month journey that I'm going to take you on. If you want to join in, I'm going to be here because I want to see what this is. But this awakening of me, like, what does that mean? I don't know what my next chapter is. My 50s and 60s was, selling everything and moving to Europe on a whim, and hoping that it was really going to work. And now it's, so now, okay, I'm settled here. Now what? I don't want to get complacent. I don't want to live my life on autopilot. I did that. I want something different. So what is it that you want different? Besides the trophies or the full list of the full calendar and things to check off, what does your new list look like? For instance, my new list is heading to Paris for my birthday, and then to Portugal for a month. We're actually gonna do some dog sitting in Portugal, and then we're gonna end up in Spain and have Thanksgiving in Spain with a bunch of other expats. And so, like, what's on your list? What's on your list? And it doesn't mean, like, don't go and think, oh, I can't write that down, or that'll never happen. Like, just play along for the year and see what happens. Trust me, I'm not going to guarantee you anything is going to happen, because it's a lot of work to make movement. it's a lot of work to create momentum because, we can do things like one-offs. We can do things and then never circle back to it because, uh, we got lazy, we got distracted, somebody needed us, something's more important. It's like whatever. But now you have a year to look at what's on your list. I mean, because maybe something on that list might be in alignment with you internally, and who knows? Who knows what could happen? So I'm going to invite you to grab a journal or a piece of paper. If you've downloaded the Who Is She journal, then you could write on the back of those pages. Or if you have the 30-day challenge sheet in front of you, you could flip that over and begin writing on the back of it too. And you might want to date it, because I like to date my journals, because then when I look back on them, then I can see what I was thinking then and be like, wow, do I want to revisit that again? Or am I ready to let that go? Or that was what I was thinking then. So it gives me an opportunity to reflect back on who I was at that date. And quite honestly, a year is a long time. A year is going to take us through a lot of ups and downs and questions and hopefully some answers. And so, dating it might be a great idea. And so, I like to think of this season as this fresh, crisp air. And I always like to set an intention of, what I want, right? Like what I want right now. For me, I want to awaken into some peace and gratitude, some clarity, and a knowing. Like I want to trust. I just want to trust. So this is my intention for this year for me is to trust that I don't have to have all the answers, but I do have to move. I'm the one that has to create the movement to go forward. It's not up to anybody else. It's only up to me. And I want to trust that I am stepping into this next best version of myself. So let me say this. Today is about awakening to the truest version of yourself as you step into this next chapter. It's about awakening into the truest version of yourself. Like without the lists, without the responsibilities. Who is she? What is she doing? How is she filling her heart and her soul and her mind and staying active and loving and still nurturing, but just nurturing in a different way, changing that focus and bringing it back on you. So, a lot of this in this year-long process is about taking a look at those external achievements and journaling about what we liked about them. What did that give me? My external achievements, my newspaper articles, the TV spots, whatever. For you, whatever it is for you. What is that? What did those external achievements bring to me? And how did that make me feel? Because that feeling is important. And then it's like, how long did that last? I carried that with me, those times of achievement and success, what I viewed as success back then. I carried that with me for a long time because I just kept building and building. That momentum is what I want you to get at, is that momentum of I'm doing this. I got a promotion. I got whatever it was for you. Like you got to lead a group of people. You got to do your first speech at work. You got to, help out the CEO or whatever. Or you were doing exactly what you wanted to do from the get-go. Whatever that is for you. And then to take a look at how that filled you up. Now that's gone. Now that's gone. That doesn't exist anymore. That job doesn't exist anymore. Those newspaper articles, nobody knows about them. Those clients, they're long gone. So if I take all of that away from me, who am I all of a sudden? And now, after I've been living outside of myself all these years, now it's time for me to come inside. I'm going to say come home. Just come home. So what does the external achievements are, the promotions, the roles, titles are very important to people. What was your title? What did that mean for you? Living by other people's expectations, that's part of those external achievements too, is keeping up with the Joneses, doing things for others all the time. Success equals productivity and business and busyness, like being busy all the time, not even being necessarily productive, but being busy, and the recognition. Like, I'm going to be honest with you, I liked it. But now what does recognition mean to me? What does it mean to me inside? How can I internally recognize or that I'm doing my FFT for the day. I'm doing something for the fucking first time today. I've never been in Paris for my birthday. I mean, that's, that's something. But now let's take a look at those the internal alignment and what that means. Like asking yourself, get out your pencil, asking yourself, does this chore or does this choice, chore or choice, kind of both the same, reflect my core values? Does what I'm doing right now reflect my core values? We're going to do some values work throughout this year, which I think is super important. I don't think that we go back and look at that enough. So we're going to do some of that work, creating a life that speaks to me of who I am, what's my, what's purposeful to me, what do I like to do, where's my passion, and being true. Like I don't want to be on that like go all the time. I want to be able to find peace and find, I'm doing enough. Like this is enough. I am enough right now. And allowing myself to slow down and say no. And it's okay to say no. And actually it's a complete sentence. For those of you that have been around me for any length of time, no is a complete sentence. You don't have to go and make up a story. No is a complete sentence. And so success now, instead of success being productivity, busyness, recognition, now success might be authenticity. Who is she? Joy. Alignment. And alignment with, I was going to say alignment with my soul. I don't want to get all woo-woo about this. And sometimes when you start talking about soul work, then people are like, whoa, wait a minute. I don't want to go there. But it's just like that inner, inner when you lay your head down in your pillow at night, you know that you're in the right place. You've done enough. You're making headway. You are working your way through this instead of being on autopilot. How many times during your day are you on autopilot? And you might want to write about that. Drive to the grocery store a different way. I don't, even though we have a car, I don't really like to drive. I would prefer to take the bus or some kind of public transportation, tram or bus. But when we do drive, I like to take a different route. Or if I'm on public transportation, then I'll sit on the opposite side of the bus or the tram that I usually sit on, just so that I have a different view. I want to see what's on the other side. I want to know what's out there. So I've done enough talking. Let's get down to some work. On your paper, in your journal, whatever you're writing on, write down these questions. Where am I running on autopilot in my life right now? I think that in midlife, that's super important to recognize. And I believe that it's super important to recognize because if we keep going on autopilot, we're not going to be growing. And if you're not learning anything new, then come later years, then you just begin to settle instead of keep going and growing. And so I think it's important for us to take a look at the people that we hang out with, whether we like them or not, whether we want to continue hanging out with them, what we're reading, what we are doing on a daily basis. Like maybe it's time to, my sister just told me that she went to a Pilates class for the first time in Spain, and it was all in Spanish, and the other women in the room were Spanish. That's scary. It's scary to do that kind of stuff. But you know what? She survived and she's able to laugh about it and talk about it now. So, it's where are you going on autopilot where you could really just do something that's going to shake things up a little bit, something where you can get that recognition for yourself, like, oh my gosh, I did this Pilates class and I survived. Like something where you get to say, wow, I did that and it kind of worked. So write about that. Question number 2. What story or am I ready to release this season? Because this is a season of change, right? We've got this where it's now September, we're going to go into October, and then November it gets colder and we start to hunker down, and December, usually the snow comes and we're inside more. What do I need to leave behind? What story from my past do I need to let go of, that I need to take the lesson away from and let go of the story? What should, I should do this, or you should do that. What should is somebody telling you to do that it's time to let it go. It's time. It's the season. Let's look at it that way. You can blame it on the season. When people see you changing, because they will, because people get used to us in a certain way, and that's what gets them nervous, because now all of a sudden we're changing. We might be saying different things or talking about different things or going to different places, and people get uncomfortable because they're on autopilot. And once they see a little bit of change, and it can be the slightest little change, it could be that you're talking about something in a different way, that people start to get uncomfortable. And they'll ask you questions like, hey, what's going on with you? That's when you know you're doing the right stuff. Okay, so question number 3. What new possibility is whispering to me right now? What new possibility is whispering to me right now? Like, I don't know what that is. My husband and I have a 2.5-month trip planned between France, Portugal, and Spain. I have a lot of things that I would want to see unfold, but I'm not really sure what might come of it. And I don't want to force anything. I'm trying to trust. I'm trying to go through this with peace and ease and grace, even though I don't know. I don't know what's going to unfold, but I'm going to allow it. I'm going to be open. I'm going to be present. I want to be aware of the things that are going on around me, things that I see that, I don't know, could be better, or maybe I can help with, or like, I don't know. So what new possibility is whispering to you right now? Okay, next question. Number 4. Choose one small action step. Action is the word there, action step, that you can take this month to be more awake and aligned with your internal alignment. In this unfolding, this awakening, this who is she journey that we are all on. So I hope that this helped you to, again, transition even further into this 30-day challenge and the year-long of the unfolding of who is she. I'm anxious to find out for myself what all lies ahead of me and what lies ahead for you. So if you'd like to send me an email or message me, I am happy to cheer you along on the way. If you have any questions or concerns about what you might be thinking or feeling, or some confusion somewhere, don't hesitate to reach out to me, because we're all on this path. And if you have a question, then it might be a question that I haven't thought of for myself. So it's always good to share those thoughts with others. So I will be happy to help you through anything. For those of you that are looking for other help along the way, mentorship or coaching, I've got some, I'm working on, one thing that I am working on is I'm working on a group coaching program that's up on my website right now, called the FFT Club for us as we transition. And that's going to start sometime next year, where we will get online together in a Zoom call once a month, and we'll chat about what these FFTs were and where we got stuck, and what went right, what went wrong, and what is it that we need, what kind of support do we need to go further. But anyway, we'll talk about that later, but if you want to go take a look at it on the website, it's bravingmidlife.com, and then you can look up FFT Club, and hopefully you'll find it there. So anyway, if you don't, let me know, because that would be on me that I did something wrong. Anyway, these questions that we talked about today will help to guide you in the next week, for the next couple of weeks of the 30-day challenge, and then throughout this program. So everything builds on one another. This right now, this month of September, is about awakening, and what does that mean for you? That internal alignment, what does that mean for you? I choose to awaken to my truth and carry it with me into this season. I choose to awaken to my truth. It's big stuff, but I choose to awaken to my truth. This is my inner work. I choose to awaken to my truth and carry it with me into this new season.